Released shortly after the launch of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past brought the Zelda series into a new era. Resurrecting many ideas from the original Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past has received universal acclaim and is consistently praised as one of the best titles in the series. The game featured awesome dungeons, unique bosses, and a plethora of amazing items, all of which were quintessential elements of the Legend of Zelda franchise. However, perhaps the most defining aspect of A Link to the Past is its underlying story. In this video, I'll give a concise, chronological storyline explanation for the entirety of the game. Where possible, I'll be using official information and artwork to convey the tale. Long ago, before the events of the original Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, three divine goddesses created the land of Hyrule, a kingdom surrounded by mountains and forests. Before they left their creation to be ruled by the kingdom's inhabitants, the goddesses placed a symbol of their strength, a golden triangle known as the Triforce, in the Golden Land. The Golden Land is also known as the Sacred Realm, and its location is secret to the outside world. As the manifestation of divine power, the Triforce beckons those worthy enough to seek out its location and unlock its true power. One day, a band of evil thieves managed to open the gateway to the Golden Land, following the discovery of its entrance. Just as they approached the Triforce, the leader of the thieves, Ganondorf, killed all of his underlings and claimed the Triforce for himself. As he touched the golden object, the Golden Land became the Dark World, corrupted by Ganondorf's malevolent influence. In the process, Ganondorf was also transformed into a powerful boar-like demon named Ganon. Afterward, Ganon waged a sinister conflict against Hyrule known as the Imprisoning War. The struggle culminated in a fierce battle wherein the Knights of Hyrule fought valiantly against Ganon, while Hyrule's sages attempted to confine Ganon to the Dark World. The Knights of Hyrule were nearly wiped out entirely, but the seven sages successfully managed to seal Ganon inside the Dark World, negating his power. Upon Ganon's apparent demise, Hyrule entered into a long era defined by peace and prosperity. One day, Hyrule began to endure a series of terrible misfortunes. In response, the King of Hyrule offered a reward to anyone who could put an end to the disasters. Planning to use the opportunity to his advantage, Ganon conceived of a plan to retake control of Hyrule with the assistance of the dark wizard Aghanim. Aghanim ventured to Hyrule, appearing as a mysterious stranger and offering his assistance to the king. Using his magical power, he quickly ended Hyrule's troubles, and in return, the king granted Aghanim prestige as his chief advisor. Exploiting the situation, the Dark Wizard successfully deposed the King of Hyrule, brainwashed all of Hyrule's soldiers, and usurped the Hyrulean throne. As the last step of his evil plan, Aghanim attempts to cast the Seven Maidens, all descendants of the Seven Sages, into the Dark World to break the seal on Ganon. Aghanim succeeds in sealing away 6 maidens and imprisons Princess Zelda, the daughter of the slain king, in a dungeon in Hyrule Castle. As the last of the 7 maidens, Zelda yearns for a hero to rescue her and bring peace back to Hyrule. And now, the events of the game begin. In the middle of the night, as Link is sleeping, the voice of Princess Zelda calls out for help. Zelda says she's been taken prisoner in the dungeon of Hyrule Castle, and warns of Aghanim's evil doings. Link's uncle, apparently having heard the voice as well, tells Link he's heading out for a while. Equipped with the sword and shield, he tells Link to stay inside. Unwilling to heed his uncle's wishes, Link gets out of the bed and grabs the lamp out of the chest inside. The lamp allows Link to illuminate dark areas. Link heads to Hyrule Castle, unable to gain entry through the front. However, he's able to sneak inside via a secret well to the east of the castle. Inside, he finds his wounded uncle, who gives Link his sword and shield. Despite his initial reluctance to involve Link in the matter, he encourages his nephew to save Princess Zelda. With the sword, Link can now enter Hyrule Castle. Inside, he locates the boomerang, an item that allows him to stun enemies. Proceeding onward, he finds Princess Zelda in the dungeon and releases her. Link leads the princess through a secret passage to Sanctuary. The sage thanks Link for rescuing the princess and urges him to stop Aghanim from breaking the seal of the 7 sages. He also conveys the hint that only the Master Sword is potent enough to defeat the Dark Wizard, and recommends that Link visit the village elder, also a descendant of the 7 sages. Zelda stays in Sanctuary, and Link heads to visit the Elder. On the way to the Elder, Link obtains the bug-catching net from a boy in Kakariko Village. The net allows Link to capture fairies to store in magic bottles. Link eventually makes his way to the house of the Elder, Sahasrahla, who tells Link he must seek out the legendary Master Sword, which can only be obtained with 3 magical pendants. Sahasrahla tells Link to seek out the Eastern Palace, where the Pendant of Courage can be found. If Link can return the pendant, the Elder says he will share more of the legend and give Link a magical artifact. Before heading to the palace, Link enters a cave east of Lake Hylia. Inside, he finds the Ice Rod, a magical item that freezes enemies. Link enters the Eastern Palace, which is marked on his map. Inside, he finds the bow, allowing him to shoot arrows at enemies. He finds and defeats the Armos Knights, giant statues that bounce around the room. When they are defeated, he receives the Pendant of Courage. When he brings it back to Sahasrahla, the Elder tells him the story of the Knights of Hyrule, who fought against a great evil. Among their descendants, he says, a hero must appear, an individual that the Elder believes is Link. He also gives Link the Pegasus shoes, which allows him to charge with his sword at high speeds. In a library south of Kakariko Village, Link bashes into a bookcase with the Pegasus boots, revealing the Book of Mudora. He takes the book to the Desert Palace, using it to translate the ancient Hylian language that appears on the stone in front, revealing the entrance. Within, he finds the Power Glove, a magic item that allows Link to lift large boulders. At the end of the dungeon, he faces Landmolas, burrowing snake-like monsters. After they're defeated, Link receives the Pendant of Power, the second pendant. At Zora's Waterfall, Link meets King Zora, an ancient fish creature who sells him the flippers for 500 rupees. With the flippers, Link can swim in deeper water and use Zora waterways throughout Hyrule. Under a waterfall nearby, Link throws his boomerang into the pond. After answering honestly that it was him who threw it in, he's rewarded with the magical boomerang, which travels farther than the original and can cut down bushes. Link also does the same with his fighter's shield, throwing it into the pond to receive the Fire Shield. The Fire Shield is a more powerful shield that can block some fireballs. Inside of a cave, Link finds a lost man. When he leads him to safety, the old man rewards him with the Magic Mirror, a special item that will eventually allow Link to transition between worlds. Link makes his way to the Tower of Hera for the final pendant. Inside, he finds the Moon Pearl, which protects Link against forces that would otherwise transform him into mutated creatures. At the end of the area, he clashes with Moldorm, a giant worm-like creature. When he's defeated, Link receives the Pendant of Wisdom, the third and final pendant. Now that Link has acquired all 3 pendants, he can seek out the Master Sword. Venturing through the Lost Woods, he finds the legendary sword in its pedestal. When he approaches, the 3 pendants magically float into the air, and Link thrusts the Master Sword upward. Just at that moment, Link is contacted telepathically by Sahasrahla, who says that Link can use the power of the Master Sword to deflect Aghanim's magic. As he exits the area, he's also magically contacted by Princess Zelda once again. She warns that soldiers have approached Sanctuary and screams in desperation. As Link rushes to Sanctuary, he finds the sage lying on the ground. After he laments that Princess Zelda has been taken to Hyrule Castle, Link follows in pursuit. He makes his way through Hyrule Castle Tower, fighting through enemies on the way to the top. There, he discovers the Dark Wizard Aghanim using his power to vanish Princess Zelda to the Dark World. After triumphantly announcing that the last of the 7 maidens has been vanished and that the seal of the evil power has been broken, Link pursues and confronts Aghanim. Link takes advantage of the knowledge offered by Sahasrahla, using the Master Sword to deflect Aghanim's magical bolts back at him. As Aghanim is overwhelmed by the power of the Master Sword, he declares that he will draw Link into the Dark World as well. Just then, reality seems to bend, and Link finds himself at the top of a pyramid in the Dark World. As he arrives, Sahasrahla contacts Link again, this time telling Link that he arrived at what was once the Golden Land. However, the area has now been corrupted by evil, and the 2 worlds have been linked by the Dark Wizard's power. According to the sage, Link must seek out and rescue the 7 maidens that Aghanim vanished to the Dark World. Before making his way into the dungeons, Link heads to Death Mountain where he finds the Ether Medallion. This magic allows Link to freeze many enemies on the screen at one time. In addition, Link throws a skull into a circular rock arrangement where a large catfish appears and gives Link the Quake Medallion. This item allows Link to use magic to vanquish many enemies on screen simultaneously. Link uses the help of Kiki the monkey to enter the Dark Palace. Within the area, he finds the magic hammer, allowing Link to damage some enemies and pound pegs into the ground. At the end of the palace, he faces off against the Helmosaur King, a giant scorpion-like enemy with a hard shell helmet. Using the magic hammer to assist him, Link defeats the beast and receives the first crystal, allowing him to communicate with the first of the 7 maidens. On the overworld, Link approaches Flute Boy, who gives him the shovel. With the help of the magic mirror and the shovel, Link digs up flowers nearby to obtain the flute. After playing it in front of the man on the tree stump and near the Weathercock and Kakariko village, a duck breaks out of the statue and takes flight. From this point forward, playing the flute gives Link the ability to be transported throughout Hyrule with the help of the duck. With the help of the magic mirror again, Link uses the Pegasus boots to charge into a gravestone, revealing a secret entrance. Inside, he finds the magic cape, an item that makes Link invisible and avoids damage. With the help of the magic cape, Link gets past some spikes to receive the Cane of Birna, a magical item that creates a force field to protect Link from attacks and traps. After using the Book of Mudora again, Link obtains the Bombos Medallion, a magical item that destroys all enemies on screen. To free the second maiden, Link heads to the Swamp Palace. Inside, he discovers the Hookshot, an item that stuns some enemies, pulls some items toward him, and allows him to launch at distant objects and pull himself to their location. At the end of the dungeon, Link is confronted by Argy, a giant eye surrounded by spherical enemies. After he is defeated, Link receives the second crystal and communicates with the second maiden. Link makes his way to the third palace in the Dark World, Skull Woods. Therein, he finds the Fire Rod, an item that allows him to light unreachable torches and burn enemies. At the end of the area, he faces Mothula, a giant moth-like beast. When he's defeated, Link receives the third crystal and frees the third maiden. The next dungeon, Gargoyle's Domain, is found in the Village of Outcasts. Inside, Link locates the Titan's Mitt, an item that allows him to lift large boulders. At the end of the area, he fights Blind, a phantom monster with a vulnerable head. After meeting his demise at the hands of Link, the fourth crystal is obtained and the fourth maiden is saved. Link uses the Titan's Mitt to lift heavy skulls, then uses the magic mirror to transform a frog into a dwarven swordsmith. When he is reunited with his peer, the 2 blacksmiths offer to temper Link's sword. When Link agrees, then returns to the smithery, he receives the Tempered Sword, a more powerful version of the Master Sword. Next, Link heads to the Ice Palace. Inside the dungeon, he locates the Blue Mail, an armor that decreases the amount of damage taken. At the end of the dungeon, Link fights Cold Stare, a magical eye encased in ice. When he falls, Link receives the 5th crystal and secures the release of the 5th maiden. Misery Mire, the next dungeon, is located by way of the Ether Medallion. Inside, Link finds the Cane of Samaria, a magical item that can create blocks. In the last area, Link faces off against Vitreous, a giant eyeball surrounded by smaller eyeballs. When he's defeated, Link receives the 6th crystal and converses with the 6th maiden. In a bomb shop, Link purchases the Super Bomb. He uses it to blow a hole in the Pyramid of Power. Within, Link finds a pond. After he throws his tempered sword into it, a fairy appears and gives him the Golden Sword, the most powerful sword in the game. In addition, Link throws his arrows into the pond to get the Silver Arrows, a more powerful version of the original arrows. Turtle Rock, the next dungeon, is found with the help of the Quake Medallion. After revealing the entrance, Link heads inside. There, he obtains the Mirror Shield, which can reflect many beam projectiles. At the end of the area, Link fights Trinex, a 3-headed stone turtle monster. When he's defeated, Link receives the 7th and final crystal, liberating the final maiden. After all 7 maidens have been freed, Ganon's Tower remains the only challenge awaiting Link. When he approaches the structure, the 7 maidens gather their power and break the seal on the tower, revealing a staircase for Link to enter. Within the dungeon, he retrieves the Red Mail, the most powerful armor in the game. When he reaches the end, the Dark Wizard Aghanim is waiting for him. Using his sword to deflect Aghanim's magic again, he is defeated. Suddenly, however, Ganon appears, then turns himself into a bat and flies away. The bat crashes down into the top of the Pyramid of Power, creating a giant hole. As it turns out, Aghanim was simply the alter ego of Ganon, a persona used to escape imprisonment. After flying back to the Pyramid of Power, Link jumps into the hole to confront Ganon. Ganon admits that Link has successfully meddled with his plans, but says he will destroy him before handing over the Triforce. Ganon declares he will conquer both the light and dark worlds, but Link refuses to allow it and clashes with the evil foe. With the help of his combat skills and sword, Link weakens Ganon. In a moment of weakness, Link also uses the silver arrows to put an end to him. After he is destroyed, Link stands triumphant. He walks into the next room where he finds the Triforce. The essence of the mystical object speaks to Link, assuring him that its power will grant wishes to the one who touches it. Accordingly, it will grant good wishes to a person with a good heart, but an evil-minded foe will be granted evil wishes. According to the Triforce, Ganon's wish to conquer the world changed the Golden Land to the Dark World. However, because Link has totally destroyed Ganon, the Dark World will vanish and the golden power of the Triforce is in Link's hands. As Link makes a wish, he approaches the Triforce and hoists it into the air. At Hyrule Castle, the King of Hyrule is rejoined by Princess Zelda and a ceremony is held to honor his return. In Sanctuary, the loyal sage has been revived. Sahasrahla returns to Kakariko Village and is greeted with a special homecoming celebration. At the Desert Palace, vultures rule the desert. At the Mountain Tower, the bully nearby makes a friend. Link's uncle returns to life and restores Link's house, and both Link and his uncle joyfully raise their swords into the air. At Zora's Waterfall, flippers are still for sale. The witch and her assistant still tend to the magic shop. The lumberjacks continue to work at the woodsman's hut. Flute Boy plays his music again in the haunted grove. Venus, Queen of Fairies, still maintains the wishing well. The dwarven swordsmiths continue to temper weaponry in the smithery. The bug-catching kid continues to hunt bugs in Kakariko Village. At Death Mountain, the lost old man has found his way. The forest thief remains in the lost woods. And finally, Link places his legendary sword back into its pedestal in the lost woods. The Master Sword sleeps again, forever. And that concludes my complete story explanation for The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel for more game storyline explanations, and click the bell to be alerted upon the release of new content. Also, please check out my other videos and leave a comment below with your favorite aspect of A Link to the Past.